Hey guys, before we get into our episode today, we want to share with you a super quick giveaway, chump giveaway that we're going to be doing. Taylor, what are we giving away?
Well, as you guys know, we've been going through our series, The Adventures of the Apostles, which has been largely informed by Sean McDowell's work, his published dissertation, The Fate of the Apostles. So we're looking to give away a copy of that to one of you guys.
That is so exciting. If you want to enter, all you have to do is follow us at Church History for Chumps, either on Instagram or Facebook. You can share the story and then tag a friend in the comments. And for every comment you get an additional entry.
That's right. You can enter as many times as you want. And John, when are we giving it away?
We're going to be starting in the next couple of weeks as soon as the post is live. And then we're going to be picking our winner on November 1st. Also, All Saints Day. Feels very appropriate, doesn't it?
I love it, John. Well, let's get back to the episode.
You bet. Hey everybody, welcome to Church History for Chumps. My name is John Simon and I'm here with my two good pals. Taylor, have you heard of that new update for Hearthstone, Treadway? And Thomas, I don't know, I just play, construction worker simulator while I have a mouthful of zins. Duel.
That's me.
If you fill your mouth with Zen and close your eyes, you can imagine you're on any work site in the world.
Wow.
Right before, pretty soon you'll be in a hospital simulation.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, dude, it feels good to be back.
Dude, we're glad to have you back.
Oh my gosh. The rumors were starting to pop off a little bit, Thomas. People were saying there was drama behind the scenes. People were saying Thomas doesn't like the apostles. Thomas doesn't believe in the apostles.
I knew Dad went out for his can of Grizzly and was going to come back.
Yeah.
I was worried.
Thank you for believing in me, son.
You're welcome, Dad. Dude,
Thomas, I feel like you owe an update to the Chump Nation because they haven't heard your voice in many moons.
Yeah. I basically was gone for over the course of 3 weeks. I was traveling for some church work in our presbytery. And then we went to a family reunion in Estes Park, Colorado for my grandma's 90th birthday. Shout out, Marcia. Yeah.
Gam.
I'd love to say she's a big listener of the pod, but I don't think she's a big listener of any pods. But she's cool. Marcia is amazing. And we celebrated her birthday.
How old did she just turn?
90.
The 90. Big 90, dude.
Yep. She's lived in the same house for like 60 plus years. And
so that means your kids have a living great grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
What a blessing, dude.
They've got 2 living great grandmothers, actually.
Dang, man. That's awesome. That's super cool.
Yep. And then we had our church's family camp on Mount Lemmon after that, which to our fellow Tucsonans we know is the big mountain that overlooks our city.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm back.
Yeah.
Back in the saddle again.
Back like you never left.
Yeah.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it. Well, we missed you. I missed you a lot. I missed you a lot.
You guys just been grinding in the CH4C trenches?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
We got a giveaway going. So
we do, yeah.
Guys, you heard at the beginning the instructions. We got a lot of people entering already. Keep it rolling, baby.
Oh, I've got something that we have to talk about really quick.
Yes.
Somebody with my last name is all of a sudden in our comments, and it's not a relative of mine.
Oh, he's a relative, bro. I think he might have been at Gam's birthday party.
Yeah.
You just didn't know
it.
Well, here's the thing. If your last name is Duell, you are related to me. So Mike or whatever your name was, who was commenting,
Mike.
We're related. And as I've gotten older, I've started to see the Duell name more. When I was a kid, it was just not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea. So now I'm like, did that guy find our podcast because he Googled his name?
Dude, what if you're the most famous Duell in the world right now?
Wow.
Because of this podcast.
Wow.
Moving on up.
Something to think about, huh?
Yeah. Do you have any I don't know. What words do you have for a fellow Duell? Do you guys have like a special handshake? Like a way to know that he's not like some fraud? He's not just Mike Dinkelberg?
Yeah, man. Well, we're Swedish, so I imagine if I told him Valkomen or Svenska Pojka or something like
Durgan.
Yeah.
That's on that's on their national crest, I believe, Taylor.
Family, that's the Well family crest. Hinga Dinga Durgan.
It's just like a bunch of meatballs on a plate.
Oh man!
Wow,
that's great. No,
well, Mike, thanks for listening, man.
Yeah, man.
Glad to know there's a Duell out there who loves Christ.
Guys, engage with us on socials. Leave comments. To anybody that's wondering, I guess if you leave a comment on Spotify, that can count as an entry.
I already told him.
Oh, you already told him. Good. Yeah, we had a listener that was like, I don't do social media, so I guess I can't enter.
More power to him. I should give him several entries. I almost said entrees. I should give him several entries for
give him entrees as well
for not being on social media. Yeah. No, yeah, I think I'm excited. We've got some entries. I'm really excited.
Are we giving away your book, Taylor? Like the
are you buying a new one, or is this like
no? I have digital for this. We're gonna buy a new one, a brand new one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wait, are you going to sign it? It's just like Sean McDowell's book, but it's signed by Taylor Treadway.
That's the joke. That's why it's so good.
It's a signed copy. You know what's crazy though?
I missed that part.
Give me like a few more years, and I could get Sean McDowell's signature. I just have to at least get years. Yeah, I just have to at least get into the PhD program. I think.
How long does it take to drive over to Biola? Like 40, and just knock on the door.
45 minutes. That's the thing, though, dude. I'll look like a crazy person. Hi, is Dr. McDowell in?
Dude, Thomas is literally making us recycle jokes from old episodes because he doesn't listen to episodes that he's not in.
I know.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. My bad. All right, I'll shut up about the book.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, guys, got the giveaway.
It just also means that you and I, John, have the same humor. Like if you and I are saying the same crap to Taylor, I didn't even hear it. Apparently, I'm just saying the same stuff.
Oh my gosh.
No, that's actually rock solid. Yep. Oh man. Also, before we get into our poetry readings for today, we are still accepting votes for our new series between the Crusades, the rise of the Catholic Church post fall of Rome, which that's all one. That's not two separate ones, and the first and second Great Awakenings. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe by the time we finish, we'll be in the middle of the third Great Awakening.
Wouldn't that be great?
See, everybody wants us to do the Crusades, I bet, but they don't realize what that's going to do to us. Like the amount of time it's going to take to record that.
Yeah, I also feel like there's a lot of stuff about the Crusades. You know,
I know. Look, we're gonna we'll focus on the church side of the Crusades is what we'll but we'll have to tell the whole story. So yeah, that's where all the votes are leaning. So I'm telling you guys, if you want another one, you better get in and cast a vote, because it's like probably 70% Crusades right now.
This is your patriotic duty, Chump Nation. We're calling you Uncle Tom. Oh no. I was gonna say like Uncle Sam, but then I realized that's like a slur. So Ray, can you get that out of there? Can we
leave it in?
Hey Ray,
I'm just glad it was you that said it.
That's my dad's
I'm glad
favorite.
It was me that said it. Yeah.
That's my dad's favorite part of this podcast, by the way, is when we're like, "Hey Ray, can you remove that?" But then like it's still there.
Dude, it's the best running joke in the show. Ray's not hearing this unless I'm time stamping, then I'm not. All right, we do have some poetry to read. One I'm really proud of. So you guys should know, because we beat this drum pretty regularly. If you give to our Buy Me a Coffee, which the link is in our show notes, if you give a one-time gift, we will write you a haiku. We've written many haikus, and they've all just filled our hearts with joy. And I have a haiku to read for our good friend Ari from Singapore. She donated, and this might be the first international gift we've gotten, which is just the coolest. She was also like, I don't know, I'm just psyched. So Ari, you're the best, and I have a haiku for you. Sing for Singapore in Malay or Tamil or English. They speak all. Boom.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they also speak Mandarin, but that was too many syllables. But
that's like
I was going to write something in Malay, but I was like, I think this would actually be impossible, and there's no way I would pronounce it correctly. So,
what if like you're just like your chat bot was just like, would you like me to write another haiku now? No, yeah, I know you better than that. That was from the heart. No.
Actually, this is why the next thing I'm about to read is so significant, because our wonderful listener Sam has offered a regular donation, which is something that we've never even heard of before. I thought the website was broken.
I thought it was a myth.
What came through. Yeah, I thought it was impossible.
Written in the Gnostic Gospels.
Legendary.
This is what I heard of when I used to support Raise, but I never thought it was real. So here it is in the flesh, a real recurring gift. So Sam, this is for you. And again, this is just a reminder that Taylor wanted to do a ChatGPT one last week, and I told him not to. Anyways, the giants of church history are peering from the sky, holding prayers of saints and thieves as clouds and birds go by. See, what could I say to you, O Sam, that I could put into a poem, a shin, a lamed, a mem sufit, when said aloud, shalom? See, this is how a sonnet sounds when composed by sons of men. Taylor prefers to put some crap and have AI take it for a spin. This is a poem that's sweet and swell. We hope your family is doing well. Thank you, Sam.
That was good.
Yay,
it was from the heart.
That was really good.
Mm-hmm. ChatGPT's sonnet had some serious bars, but
sure, man. Yeah, sure. It's like when that 3D printer made the Mona Lisa. Hang that up in your house, huh?
Oof.
So if anybody else wants to set up a recurring donation, they can have an equally
beautiful poem,
beautiful sonnet.
Okay, you guys didn't sound that convincing.
No, dude, it was really good. Now it sounds like we're really like, no, man, it was awesome. No.
Yeah, you need to gas me. It was fine. It's whatever.
It was good, man.
All right, I think we hit all the main points. Ready to get cooking?
We sure are.
Let's do it.
Well, as you guys know, we are landing the plane on the fate of the apostles. Last week, John Simon was challenged to do 3. I'm not over that. I'm still
3.
bitter.
You should be.
And he did 1. And
I did 1 real well.
And you did.
Thomas, what did you think of that episode?
Yeah, Tommy, why don't you tell us in detail what you thought?
It was so good.
Thomas, did you like that joke that I made where I referenced you about 6 minutes in, maybe?
Yeah, what was it? What was the joke, Tommy? Remind me.
How hard did you laugh when you heard that joke?
I laughed so hard I blacked out and forgot the joke.
Let me ask you though, did you feel offended about kind of the riff that I made on the sacraments? Was I going too far when I said that thing about kids' baptism?
That's bait.
Listen to your own show, Tommy. Boo. Okay, look. Hey, so we got 2 tonight.
I didn't even have Wi-Fi where I was for the longest time.
We got 2 episodes. Or 2, not 2 up. We have 2 episodes left. 3 apostles. 2 up tonight. The big, the bad, the Paul next week. So tune in next time for Paul. This week, though, do you guys know who we have left? Who do we got left?
We got Thad and Bart.
Thaddeus and Bartholomew, or Judas and Nathaniel, depending on how you want to go about naming them.
Yeah, I'd probably go by my middle name if my first name was Judas around this time.
Yeah, poor guy. That's right.
No, for real.
Teacher calls attendance. Judas Nathaniel. It's Nathaniel.
Is that guy Judas who was following Jesus?
Was that the one who killed?
No, different Judas. Different Judas.
Get it all the time. Thanks, though.
Yeah.
So, okay, hey, so we're going to start with Thaddeus. We're going to explore him, and then we're going to do Bartholomew because there's some tasty stuff there. First things first, though, I realized, dear listeners, during my research this week that I was like, Googling like pseudepigraphal sources on Bartholomew, blah, 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 Gnostic sources on Bartholomew. And I realized I didn't actually know the difference off the top of my head between apocryphal writing, pseudepigraphal writing, and Gnostic writing. And so I'm curious, before I give the answer, do you two know?
The difference?
Yeah, because we've been reading so much of it for like months, and I just realized I don't even...
I feel like I know the difference between apocryphal writing and Gnostic writing.
What's apocryphal?
I don't know, as in from the Apocrypha?
Yep.
Or
So yeah,
I guess I don't know how, like, what it would how it would be defined, other than that it's contained in the collection of writings known as the Apocrypha.
Right, non-canonical but useful,
like deuterocanonical.
Yeah. Sure,
not deuterocanonical, but
no, it is.
But
all right.
Well, I guess the
well, now there's a fourth term I don't know the difference of. So
the Apocrypha becomes deuterocanonical once it gets added to the canon later on in church history.
No, I thought that the Apocrypha was always deuterocanonical because it was like the second canon. Like it was external to the canon.
That's not how I understand that word, but I don't know enough to be like dogmatic about it.
Look, man, I got the difference between the three. Okay, so
you don't ask questions, Taylor.
I know.
You ruined the whole show just now.
I did. So Tommy's right in the sense of the apocryphal writings are the ones contained in the Apocrypha, useful but not canonical. So those are like good stuff that, the saints of yesteryear like signed off on but knew it wasn't canonical.
Quick side note, that's actually what the Belgic Confession says about it. So our church's confession says that the Apocrypha is good for like Christian life.
Right.
But it's not Holy Scripture.
That's right. Good old First Clement. I think he's in there, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Bell and the Dragon.
Yeah. Didache. Yeah.
The Maccabees.
So what you got, though, is then you have the pseudepigraphal, which is a category of writings, which pseudo meaning false, so it's false writings. And those are the ones that's like Gospel of Thomas, Acts of John, random... basically everything the History Channel just like runs with for their little conspiracy theory shows, that's going to be the pseudepigraphal. And pseudepigraphal...
Does it mean like fake apostle?
Yeah, fake writings.
Okay,
now,
but it's not necessarily all apostolic. Fake apostolic.
No, it's a category.
Okay.
It's a category of Gnostic writing, though.
Okay.
So, or rather, Gnosticism. The pseudepigraphal writings can be Gnostic. Gnostic is actually super hard to define.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because not like pseudepigraphical and apocryphal. That's just like their relationship to the church, but Gnostic is like it's like content, like what it says,
right?
And who wrote it?
So obviously, the church isn't going to call Gnostic writing useful, so that's why the apocryphal writings are not Gnostic, but a lot of the pseudepigraphal writings are. So anyway, I hope that clears that up. And so we've seen lots of Gnostic themes in and out of what we've been reading. We're going to be in some more pseudepigraphal writings and sort of Gnostic writings today, and it gets difficult to know what's historical, what's embellished, all of that. But there's some good stuff in our readings today. But we're going to go ahead and just start with Thaddeus. So first off, what do we know about Thaddeus?
He was a fisherman.
Boo!
I feel like
Was I right?
I feel like we don't know a lot about him, right?
We know very little in the writing. Like Matthew and Mark place him number 10 in the apostolic list, right after Little James.
Bottom 3.
Yeah. So Luke places him 11th, right before Judas Iscariot.
Yikes.
Yes. And yes, Thaddeus and Judas, son of James, refer to the same person. So we actually have one moment in the Gospel of John where he includes Judas, not Iscariot, And they're in the upper room, and Judas, not Iscariot, / Thaddeus, asks Jesus.
You just call him Jude.
Jude. He asks.
Yeah.
Well, and in my research, I didn't come across anything saying this guy was the same guy that wrote Jude, but it probably was. I don't know.
Really?
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm not saying he's not. He might be, but I don't want to make that claim because I didn't look into that, and I have come to realize that I'm going to need about 3 PhDs to answer every possible question that we can get at.
I think it is though. I'm just on Wikipedia right now, but it says the Epistle of Saint Jude is usually attributed to the Apostle Jude.
Okay, good.
Jude, the brother of Jesus.
That's true. But this is under the Wikipedia entry for the Jude who's also identified as Thaddeus.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
okay.
right off the bat,
It says he is sometimes identified with Jude, the brother of Jesus, but is clearly distinguished from Judas Iscariot. So it sounds like there's some maybe some difference of opinion on it if this is the same guy who's the brother of Jesus.
You know what we do know about Jude, though, is the early church fathers thought it was canonical. Therefore, we've inherited it in our canon.
That's right. It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. When Paul was given the King James version on the road to Damascus.
So maybe you're going to talk about this, but did the early church fathers have opinions on the identity of the author of Jude then? Whether it's
dude, I'm sure I didn't get there. Like I said, man, I'm going to need about 3 PhDs to answer any and all of these questions. But what I can say is that in John 14:22, Judas, not Iscariot, asks Jesus, "Lord, how is it that you will manifest yourself to us and not to the world?" And that's when Jesus says, if you love me, you obey my commandments. And then he promises the Holy Spirit, all of that. So outside of that, we know nothing. We don't know his life before. We don't know his life after. We know that his name is not a Hebrew name. There's some discussion that he was a zealot like Simon. But it doesn't. It does that. Part of that speculation is because of his listing. He gets placed next to Simon. Some people say that he's son of James the Great. That Levi is the apostle Thaddeus. So look, there's like a lot of theories.
He's the son of James the Great. Does that mean he's Jesus' nephew?
Yeah. Yeah, it could be, right? No, the timeline wouldn't make sense there. I don't think.
Right.
So,
unless he's a little guy.
Unless he was little, which who knows, he may have been. But
it's like a 6-year-old apostle.
Here's what we do know. Okay, he traveled with Jesus. He heard Jesus teach. He witnessed miracles, and Jesus considered him trusted enough to be in the 12. Right.
Right.
So that's what we got. Now, there's an early story of Thaddeus that's popular in Eastern churches.
Mm-hmm.
But before I get into that, what do we know? What's the tradition claim on Thaddeus?
As far as his death?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually.
Oh, shoot. All right. Okay, well, let's just do process of elimination here, because we know Thomas was speared.
Yep.
Yep. Andrew had the X-shaped cross, and most of these were disproven by, Taylor, the grouch.
Okay.
Let me think. I'm going to go with beheaded.
Tommy sent his little cheat sheet for this whole show.
Oh, was it arrows? Was he right?
Yeah, it was arrows.
He got Saint Sebastian.
Is the traditional claim.
Dang.
There's actually a lot. Which leads me
somewhere in the East. Is that why the Eastern churches like it? Was he martyred in the East?
Well, that's what the tradition claim is.
Oh, here we go.
So all that comes from Eusebius.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go straight to the source. if you want to follow along, this is Ecclesiastical Histories, chapter 13. And I'm just going to read, and this is basically what we've got on Thaddeus. Okay.
Let's go.
This is verse 2 of chapter 13. For instance, the king Abgarus, who ruled with great glory the nations beyond the Euphrates, being afflicted with a terrible disease, which it was beyond the power of human skill to cure. When he heard the name of Jesus and of his miracles, which were attested by all with one accord, sent a message to him by a courier and begged him to heal his disease. Got a king. He's in the east. He's sick. He sends a message to Jesus. But he did not at the time comply with his request, yet he deemed him worthy of a personal letter in which he said that he would send one of his disciples to cure his disease, and at the same time promised salvation to himself and all his house. This is kind of interesting coming from Eusebius. Not long afterward, his promise was fulfilled, for after his resurrection from the dead and his ascent into heaven, Thomas, one of the 12 apostles, under divine impulse, sent Thaddeus, who was also numbered among the 70 disciples of Christ, to Edessa as a preacher and evangelist of the teaching of Christ. Couple interesting things. Eusebius is talking like this is factual.
Okay.
So he clearly believes it. Second thing, remember, Eusebius is like early 4th century, though. So this is like late. This is well outside the window of living memory. So there could have been a source.
And is it the same Thaddeus?
Well,
is there any...
what could lead you to question if it is the same Thaddeus? Because other tradition has him going here. This just happens to be the nice bow and story. But what could lead you to believe that it's not the same Thaddeus is because he says Thomas under divine impulse. So you have Apostle Thomas sending Thaddeus. So that's kind of weird if there was a ranking, and who was also numbered among the 70 disciples of Christ. So could be or not, could not be. As we've talked about in other episodes, Eusebius gets people confused. So point is, this is the source we've got on him.
Okay.
And he's going to Mesopotamia. That's where Edessa is. This is verse 5. And all our
That's Iraq, right? Isn't that Iraq?
Yeah, ish. I don't know. Somewhere in that part of the world.
I'm on it.
Thank you.
I'm on it.
Thanks, John. And all that our Savior had promised received through him in its fulfillment. You have written evidence of these things taken from the archives of Edessa, which was at the time a royal city. For in the public registers there, which contain accounts of ancient times and acts of Abgarus, these things have been found preserved down to the present time, but there is no better way than to hear the epistles themselves, which we have taken from the archives and have literally translated from the Syriac language in the following manner.
So, hold up. Eusebius is like, I went to Odessa, I grabbed these epistles, and I translated them?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty cool.
It's super sick. So he says this is from this is translated from Syriac. So this is Eusebius translating these ancient letters. Abgarus, ruler of Edessa, to Jesus, the excellent Savior, who has appeared in the country of Jerusalem. Greeting. I have heard the reports of you and your cures as performed by you without medicines or herbs. For it is said that you make the blind to see and the lame to walk, that you cleanse lepers and cast out impure spirits and demons, that you heal those afflicted with lingering disease and raise the dead. And having heard all these things concerning you, I have concluded that one of two things must be true. Either you are God, and having come down from heaven, you do these things, or else you, who does these things, are the Son of God. I have therefore written to you to ask you if you would take the trouble to come to me and heal the disease which I have. For I have heard that the Jews are murmuring against you and are plotting to injure you, but I have a very small yet noble city which is great enough for us both. This is wild.
Yeah, it is. So is like the dating of this, somebody wrote a letter to Jesus before his crucifixion?
That's what the claim is.
I've never heard of somebody writing a letter to Jesus. This is so interesting.
I hadn't either until this.
Because at first I was like, oh, this is somebody who heard about the resurrection, but not the ascension.
No, dude, this guy just like...
You get a letter back from the apostles and like, actually, he floated into heaven.
You just missed him. You just missed him.
You get the letter written in the 3 days that he's dead.
Yeah.
Hey, King. Here's the deal. Things kind of went south here.
Yeah. Look, let's just say we're all a little surprised. Also,
3 days later.
3 days later. 3 days later. JK.
He's alive.
Forgive me. I'm weak. Yeah. So,
Mesopotamia was a Roman province established in the late 2nd century, and it was modern day Iraq, but it's the Middle East.
Yes.
That
so what we just read is supposedly the letter written by Abgarus to Jesus. Now here is supposedly the answer from Jesus to Abgarus. Blessed are you. This is supposedly Jesus.
Well, wait, this is Jesus, right?
Yeah, this is, Jesus, probably.
Are the letters in red? Because I'm skeptical.
Newadvent.org did not make that. And I highly doubt the anti-Nicene church fathers put that in red as well. Okay. Blessed are you who hast believed in me without having seen me. Already I'm skeptical on that because that's almost verbatim from the Gospels.
He likes to repeat himself.
True. For it is written concerning me that they who have seen me will not believe in me. Looking at you, Thomas. Dude, what if Jesus was transcribing this just looking at Thomas? Oh, man.
Actually, here's another wild theory. What if Thomas was writing as Jesus because of the whole twin scenario that we talked about in the last episode?
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Listen,
he's like, I'll take care of this.
He's like, and to prove that it's me, I've included a Polaroid of myself in the letter.
Right. It's a real Bruce Wayne and Batman situation here.
Yeah. Okay. But in regard to what you've written me, that I should come to you, it is necessary for me to fulfill all things here for which I have been sent. And after I have fulfilled them, thus to be taken up again to him that sent me. But after I've been taken up, I will send to you one of my disciples that he may heal your disease and give life to you and yours.
This sounds exactly like when your great aunt has been messaging some guy from India who says that they're Keith Urban. And it's like, I'm sorry, I can't come see you. I have to stay in Nashville. I got a lot of recording to do.
Yeah. Would you like me to mention you in my next album?
Right. And great aunt Marge is like, I sent Keith Urban $10,000. Oh, okay.
I'd love to come see you, but I'm stuck in Judea.
Marge, please, my guitar is broken.
Right. So, without reading all of it, because I want to read a lot of Martyrdom of Bartholomew, essentially, Eusebius then goes on to explain Thaddeus's journey.
Mm-hmm.
So, that I do not. I'm just triple checking. He doesn't have the martyrdom because this is the last chunk. Abgarus therefore commanded the citizens to assemble early in the morning to hear the preaching of Thaddeus, and afterward he ordered gold and silver to be given to him. But he refused to take any, saying, "If we have forsaken that which was our own, how shall we take that which is another's?" That's such a awesome line. These things were done in the 340th year. That's in their calendar, obviously not ours. I have inserted them here in their proper place, translated from the Syriac literally, and I hope to good purpose. Eusebius, if you can hear us from heaven, they were for good purpose, sir. If not for the memes. So
you heard it here first, folks. Taylor praying to Satan.
Oh no!
It's just a nod. It's a nod. He wasn't asking for anything.
I didn't ask Eusebius for anything. I'm just saying maybe he's among the great.
Talk to him.
Maybe he's among the great cloud of witnesses. Did you consider that?
Yeah, I'm about it.
I know you.
One time I asked Mike Goheen, I was like, "Hey, do you ever try praying to the saints on Versailles, and talk to Leslie Newbegin or Herman Bavinck?" And he was just like, "No." I was like, it was a joke.
Dude,
Mike.
If there is a single theologian that has never been prayed to, it's Herman Bavinck.
That's so funny. So funny.
Everybody that even knows his name is the polar opposite of that. Somebody's probably already prayed to John MacArthur. but nobody.
I think they're probably in the same camp. I don't think anyone's praying to John MacArthur.
He had a wide enough reach. Somebody has.
That guy who prayed like, "Help me, Donald Trump," like he's prayed to John MacArthur.
Yeah. So, okay. Sean McDowell, in the book we're giving away, The Fate of the Apostles, he says this story bears all the marks of legend. But just because something's legend, the example we used last week is like if, pretend all U.S. history gets wiped out and all that remains is a little Disney VHS of some story of Lewis and Clark. That doesn't mean that, and there's the talking bears, and what was the animal we said, like a little beaver, the cute beaver that follows them?
Yeah, the little talking beaver.
Named Chuck,
yeah.
Right? So, future people are going to look at that and go, okay, Chuck is probably not real. At the very least,
correct.
Chuck is an analogy for something, right? At the very least. But they
Chuck
might
was just
say...
the Native Americans.
It's an analogy for ayahuasca.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They might say Lewis and Clark probably happened, though.
Right.
And they might find a few little references of it here and there. So we can't exclude
That's a
things.
great analogy. I loved that for the second time, especially when I heard it for the first time.
Oh, man. The first time I heard it, it blew me away. It blew me away.
Boy.
I'm so glad I'm settled for the second time.
So
yeah.
To wrap up Dear Thaddeus, so we can get to Bart. A couple other legends sort of in the same thing. If you want to read more about it, Sean McDowell's book, Fate of the Apostles. Enter to win it or buy it on your own. Okay, so essentially nothing super fun here except, mission work, very probably true.
In Mesopotamia.
Work outside Jerusalem.
Oh, he barely even left town.
Because this is the general evidence that we have for all the apostles going off and doing things.
Okay.
Thaddeus experienced martyrdom. That one's as plausible as not. Okay.
What? It being arrowed.
Yeah, but there's also not.
Who even would be arrowing people though? That's not something they would do in Jerusalem.
No, that would have been ancient Armenia.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Non-martyr traditions include the Acts of Thaddeus, Hippolytus on the 12, Breviarium, Apostolarium, and a couple other ones that say he died of old age. So once again, as we transition over to Bart, I find it incredibly amusing that what we have been taught, time and time again, we've referenced this. We have been taught that the apostles all were martyred. And the early church fathers were not even super on it. You have early church fathers saying, no, that one died of old age.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's almost like to the church fathers, they were more impressed with where they went because
that's what mattered to them.
That laid claim to like, oh, this church and this region has an apostolic foundation. It wasn't that big of a deal.
The solid, let's make it clear too. The solid people, and you can't blame them because the church was a unified thing back then. Pastor Bob didn't start a church plant and meet in the Coliseum on Tuesday mornings when it wasn't being used. That just wasn't. You like that? That just
in the Spanish speaking churches on Wednesday night. Iglesia de Coliseo.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah. So that did not happen. The church was unified, and so they wanted to have the apostolic origins. Now, not as solid people would try to claim, I have the bones of so and so. I have the bones of so and so, and that helps. And I don't know, dude. I heard about this lady in the early church. Don't ask me what time period, patristic era ish. She was in Northern Africa. She was a rich lady, and she would kiss the bones of martyrs before taking communion.
That sounds pretty hardcore, actually. That's super metal. I'm not even mad at that.
And
that's pretty
so
cool.
I can't remember which one. It was one of our guys that we've talked about one of our guys was basically like, you have to tell her to stop to the bishop. And he's like, you have no idea how much drama this is going to cause. And he's like, you have to do it, dude. And so he did it. And then sure enough, I think there's something that she like helped feed into the Donatists. So dude, it's a whole thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Same area, right?
Dude, Northern Africa was just always on something, bro.
I know.
Gosh, man.
Meanwhile, just go south a little bit. Ethiopia is just already doing their own thing completely.
I would love just to be a fly on the wall for that conversation of the bishop and the priest, where the bishop is like, hey, what's this stuff about some lady kissing bones before communion? And he's like, yeah, it's weird. Her name is Sarah. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, she does it. People seem to like it. It's really not worth bringing up. And he's like, sorry, dude. We're gonna
go ahead and stop that one, bud. All right. Okay. We got time. We're doing okay.
All right, we got Bart.
This is our second to last one, boys.
Wow.
We're landing the plane.
Feels like we just started.
Please put your seats and tray tables into the upright position.
Mm.
And that's a traveler.
Yeah, That's right. Okay. What do you guys know about Bart? Or Big Nate?
Worst name of the apostles.
What? Bart, Big Nate, Natty Light, Batty Light?
It's pretty timeless, you know?
It is. I knew a Bart.
Like,
how much damage do you think Bart Simpson did to people naming their son Bartholomew?
Probably a good bit.
Yeah.
Well, I got some scripture for us. John 1:41-51. If you want to follow along, okay. ESV, right. Dear listener, John 1:41-51. Here we go. Actually, 45-51. I'm so sorry. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, "We have found him of whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the son of Joseph." Nathanael said to him, one of the most famous lines in the New Testament, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?"
Bars.
Philip said to him, "Come and see." Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said of him, "Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom there is no deceit." Nathanael said to him, "How do you know me?" I put the emphasis on how I sort of thought.
I like that.
I mean, he's like, "Hey, can anything good come from Nazareth?" And then
No. Here's the thing. My man Nate gets a lot of crap for dissing Jesus' hometown, and for good reason. But I think the reason it's in the Bible is because it indicates that nobody thought that Nazareth had significance in terms of the Messiah, for Pete's sake. So yeah. I don't think this was, oh, what a dumb thing to say. I think it was, everybody was like, oh yeah, can anything good come out of 3 points? Yeah. That's a Tucson joke.
Or Blythe.
Can anything good come out of Shreveport?
Mammoth.
Yeah.
Mammoth.
Can anything good come out of San Manuel?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
These are all Tucson jokes. Sorry, our local listeners.
Blythe, California is literally like the spot that everybody in the nation stops to urinate.
I know, dude.
Man.
It smells like it too. I met a lady once while I was recruiting. She was a children's minister out in Blythe, and she like drove all far to come to this conference. And I just thought, I'm going to give you as much swag as I'm allowed to, and just send you on your way, saying, "God bless you, sister." Like
I knew somebody who was a youth pastor in Quartzsite. Which is like,
that's the same. It's basically Blythe. Dude, God bless those people. That is the equivalent of our boy Gregory of Nazianzus getting yeeted off by old Basil to, go to the church plant in the middle of nowhere.
It's exactly right. That is exactly that dude got outed to freaking Blythe.
He did.
He was planting a church up in Kingman.
That's right. Okay.
And those people have special treasures in heaven.
They do.
In these places.
Oh yeah.
Let's get back to scriptures. Okay. So Nathanael said, "How do you know me?" And Jesus answered him, "Before Philip called you, when you were under the fig tree, I saw you. Nathanael answered him, Rabbi, you are the Son of God, the King of Israel. Jesus answered him, because I said to you, I saw under the fig tree.
I like how this guy just somehow in your brain morphed into, like, what's that rapper, like, Mems? He's just like, anything good come out of Nazareth? Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Sounds like
Bing
Tony
bong.
Soprano. My favorite is that these dudes grew up 10 miles from each other, but Jesus has no accent.
I'm not
and
giving
this guy-
Jesus a Long Island accent. That's
Just saying, man.
blasphemy.
Living memory, Taylor. Be historically consistent.
Jesus.
What would you say to Joe Byron right now?
Right.
Bing bong.
Big bag. Okay. Because I said to you, I saw you under the fig tree. Do you believe? You will see greater things than thee. And he said to him, truly, truly, I say to you, you will see heaven opened. You will see, and the angels of God ascending and descending on the Son of Man. So our boy, Natty Light, is set up for success here. Like, he's set up for success.
Yeah, that's pretty legit.
There's got to be more. I'm sure there's some fancy pants paper written about the significance of Jesus saying, I saw you under the fig tree, and that being enough for Nathanael, right? Like, clearly, Jesus using his eyes to gather a simple piece of information was not what was actually happening. I'm not entirely sure what that means. I don't know if it's like a prophetic, like you were under a fig tree when I was walking up here, and it was a very simple prophecy, and that was enough for Nathanael to be like, oh, hey, all right, you are the Son of God. All right. So
I'm fascinated by that. I'm gonna do some exploring while you keep going.
well, what do we know about Bart and how he died? This might be the most brutal death, if legend.
I'm not going to look at my cheat sheet. I don't know.
What do you got, John?
While John's looking it up, I don't know. My instinct on the faith question is just that that's like the type of faith that Jesus really likes, when people are given like just a little bit and then they kind of pick up and run with it. And that, to me, that seems like what's going on there.
Yeah, like the lady, the first thing that comes to my head is the lady that just taps his cloak. Just taps it, and she knew like that was enough, and he was like, it was enough. Boom. Yep. Yeah. So the tradition for Bart / Nathanael is he is filleted and beheaded, and in some crucified.
Dang.
All three?
Yeah.
Before or after being beheaded?
I don't know, dude. The one I got that we're gonna dive into is well, you'll see. I don't want no spoilers. No spoilers.
Flayed is where they remove your skin, right?
Correct. Ugh.
How do you survive that? Like,
Not
like
well.
how does that even work?
You die
Bleed out?
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. They medieval folks were able to. You could skin somebody for a long time before they died.
yeah. So
They must know how to just like avoid the arteries and stuff.
the
I think that's
text.
exactly what they did. Yeah.
We've got the text, the martyrdom of Bartholomew, and it was likely written in the 4th century. And the earliest surviving reference we have is Saint Jerome mentioning it around 398 CE. How are we doing on time? Okay. I was kind of hoping we could like chill in here for a while, but let's.
Well, let me hit you with the fig tree real quick.
Mm.
The only thing I found that was interesting was that apparently the connotation of sitting under a fig tree is something that you did when you were like praying or meditating or something like that. So I would imagine this was probably something he was doing in complete isolation, or what he thought was complete isolation. So Jesus saying this was a surprise. But I think there's also some metaphor of like he was in this moment of like solitude and, reflection, and Jesus saw him in this like vulnerable, reflective place, and he was like, whoa, I thought I was alone, and yet you were there with me. So
Nice.
That's the best I can pull.
That's
from
good.
that,
And
but I'm not
hey,
gonna-
good for Nathaniel for like that being enough for him to be instant sold out, right?
exactly.
So this is, like I said, martyrdom of Bartholomew, some traditions have him going to India, much like our boy Thomas.
India?
Mm-hmm.
India.
2 apostles to India?
So I'm going to read the first chunk just to set us up, and then I'm going to have to paraphrase some stuff until I get to the end. So historians declare that India is divided into 3 parts. The first is said to end at Ethiopia, and the second at Media, and the third completes the country, and the one portion of it ends in the dark, and the other in the ocean. To this India, then, the holy Bartholomew, the apostle of Christ, went, took up his quarters in the temple of Ashtoreth, and lived there as one of the pilgrims and the poor. In this temple, then, there was an idol.
In the temple of what?
Ashtoreth. Astaruth, you could also pronounce it. Ashtoreth.
I wasn't questioning your pronunciation. I was just.
Oh, you should.
I thought it was interesting that he took up residence in a pagan temple.
Yeah.
That's definitely a pagan temple.
And that's like par for the course for Paul.
Sure.
Yeah. But, okay. So, in this temple, then, there was an idol called Ashtoreth, which was supposed to heal the infirm, but rather the more injured all. So, what I'm about to read, what's funny? What's funny about that?
Was supposed to heal them. They just walked away like, no, both
No,
arms.
listen.
This thing sucks.
No. So, we do not have time.
This is the same ancient goddess that the Israelites dealt with.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have time to dive into the discussion that can come from this, but I do want to read this because this is super fascinating and basically has been relevant since the dawn of time. So listen, this is very old source. I don't care if it's Gnostic or not. What we're about to read is very good. So the line that made John Simon laugh, but rather the more injured them all. And the people were in entire ignorance of the true God, and from want of knowledge, but rather from the difficulty of going to any other, they all fled for refuge to the false god. And he brought upon them troubles, infirmities, damage, violence, and much affliction. And when anyone sacrificed to him, the demon, retiring, appeared to give a cure to the person in trouble. And the foolish people, seeing this, believed in him. But the demons retired, not because they wished to cure men, but that they might the more assail them, and rather have them all together in their power, and thinking that they were cured bodily, those that sacrificed to them were the more diseased in soul.
Oh,
that's exactly how demons work.
Dude,
okay.
I know.
That's right on target.
You have a very, very, very early description of essentially witchcraft.
Yep.
And that's what he means by the more injured.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like it was detrimental to their soul.
Yes. Those that sacrificed to them were the more diseased in soul. Okay. So,
man,
the next chunk you have Bartholomew showing up, and now Bartholomew shows up and Ashtoreth stops working. And then you have this, and the demon Becker answered them. This is people that are doing sacrifices, and they're like, why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? And the demon Becker answered and said to them, from the day and hour that the true God who dwells in the heavens sent his apostle Bartholomew into the regions here, your God Ashtoreth is held fast by chains of fire and can no longer either speak or breathe.
Dude,
that's awesome. That's
metal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so then they said to him, who is this Bartholomew? And the demon says, he's the friend of the Almighty God and has just come into these parts that he may take away all the worship. He may take away all the worship of the idols in the name of his God. And the servants of the Greeks said to him, tell us what he's like that we may be able to find him. And so
he's just standing there in like the nose and mustache mask.
So they describe him, they get the description, and they go out hunting him. They go out hunting him.
So far, I 100% believe this, by the way. This is right up my alley.
Yeah, I know. There's no reason to think it's false. So he's in hiding, and then there's somebody who is possessed, and a Bartholomew, this person actually who was possessed comes to him and says, "Apostle of of the Lord, Bartholomew, your prayers are burning me up." And then the apostle said, "Hold your peace, come out of him." That very hour, the man who had suffered from the demon for many years was set free. Now, here's where we get into our constant tropes. The legend. Now the king shows up. It's always the king, isn't it, John Simon? It's always the king. And so he saw this exorcism happen, apparently. And then he has a daughter, and this is the exact quote, and he had a daughter, a demoniac, that is to say, a lunatic. And he heard about the demoniac that had been healed, and he sent messengers to the apostle saying, "My daughter is grievously torn. I implore you, therefore, as you delivered him who suffered for many years, so also to order my daughter to be set free." And so Bartholomew comes and sets her free. Now, skipping ahead, the king tries to buy Bartholomew. Here we have your typical, here's lots of treasure, and then they refuse. And long story short, is I have to skip ahead here. I would highly recommend just reading this whole letter, listeners. Bartholomew then gives the gospel to them, a very long description, a lot of emphasis on the Virgin Mary. Which solid, yeah, because flesh is evil, Gnostics. Gnostics, am I right? Okay, so basically, the king is like, "Let's prove that your God is better. I believe this. Let's go do it." And so they go to the temple, and they're sacrificing to the demon, and nothing's happening. And then the apostle kind of rebukes the demon. And then here we have, after the demon gets publicly shamed by Bartholomew, then the king gave orders, and all the people brought ropes and crowbars, and were not at all able to take down the idol. They're trying to destroy the idol. It's not coming down. And then the apostle says to them, "Unfasten the ropes." And when they had unfastened them, he said to the demon dwelling it, "In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, come out of this idol and go into a desert place where neither winged creatures utter a cry, nor voice of man has ever been heard." And straightway he arose at the word of the apostle and lifted up from its foundations. And in that same hour, all the idols that were in that place were broken to pieces.
Dang, that's awesome.
So he's like, "Get out of here and never come back." And the guy has to go. The demon has to leave. And then all the people just go, what's it called when you go to those break rooms or whatever, the rage rooms? Yeah, they just did that to the temple.
Just breaking microwaves with sledgehammers.
Yeah, except in this case, it's satanic idols. So it's great, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then, so all the people start worshiping, and you're like, "Oh my gosh." And so the story hits this crescendo, but then another character enters. It's the brother of the king, who hears that all of his gods have been ripped away. And he is not happy. And so...
What's his name? Do we know?
I asking hard questions. I could have told you. Astrages. Yeah, so here you go. "O king, your brother Polymaeus has become disciple to a certain magician who has taken down our temples and broken our gods to pieces. And while they were thus speaking and weeping, behold, again, there came also some others from the cities round about, both priests and people, and they set about weeping and making accusations before the king." So this is so par for the course, twisting what actually happened, right, to try to fit a narrative. You're not going to include all the good stuff that makes it justified. Just he came in.
Some dark lord showed up here.
Right. Athanasius's black magic. Then the king, Astrases in a rage, sent 1,000 armed men along with those priests in order that wherever they should find the apostle, they might bring him to man. So
1,000 men.
Yep. He wasn't playing around, dude. And he sent the full. Wow. He sent the full
battalion.
Yep. So fast forward, and when he had thus spoken, the king was informed that this god Baldad and all the other idols had fallen down and were broken in pieces. Then the king rent the purple in which he was clothed and ordered the holy apostle Bartholomew to be beaten with rods, and after having been thus scourged, to be beheaded. But revival then comes from this.
Okay.
Nice.
Revival then comes from this. People come back and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And they made King Polymus, who's the first convert, actually becomes bishop in the area.
It's always the king.
I know.
Is this Armenia? Is that where they are?
India.
This is India.
Yeah. So Sean McDowell.
Hold up. The guy who becomes bishop was the same guy that ordered his death?
No.
Different king.
The first king.
Dude, the Donatists would have lost it.
The first king to convert. The one who's
they're doing what over in India?
Yeah. The first king to convert becomes bishop.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bartholomew engaged.
But did I follow the story right that the king whose daughter was exorcised and is the same king who ends up ultimately ordering his death?
No. That's the good king.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The king's brother is the one who was evil and sent the 1,000 men.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah. So to just give the quick little recap, Bartholomew shows up. The god's power is cut off. The king sees Bartholomew exorcise a girl. And then he says, or exorcise a man. And then he says, "Hey, can you do the same for my daughter?" And then he does that. Bartholomew shares the gospel with the king. The king's like, "Oh man, all right. Well, let's figure out which god's stronger. Let's have a good old fashioned god showdown." And they show up, and the demon like argues with Bartholomew and loses. And then the king is like, "Okay, the true god's definitely the true god. Tear down this stuff. Tear down this temple. Mr. Polkovich, tear down these walls." And they go to
Polkovich.
I don't know the quote.
It's not an American history podcast. Gorbachev. You freaking goober.
He tried to say Bolshevik and he said Bolkovich.
That sounds like a slur that people would use for Soviets. Yeah, I saw a bunch of Borkoviches moving across the street.
Whatever. I'm a patristics guy now, apparently. So they try to tear down the temple. It doesn't come down. Bartholomew does a final exorcism. Temple falls down. Gods lose their power. And then the king's brother, who's equally as powerful, hears about it and then sends the people from his empire out to go kill Bart. And then they do.
Right.
But then the good king becomes bishop, and yeah. So
got it.
McDowell has Bartholomew engaging in missionary work. Very probably true. Once again, that's just true for most of the apostles.
Mm-hmm.
How
likely is the martyrdom?
As plausible as not.
Okay.
So there's a martyrdom story of in Armenia. We have the one that we just read.
Does the Armenian church claim Bartholomew as like their guy, like the Coptics do with Mark?
No, not that I'm aware of, because they most
didn't we say the last guy who died in Armenia?
Yeah, that
as well?
they claim more.
Thaddeus.
Yeah, they claim more Thaddeus.
Interesting.
So Hippolytus on the 12 is where we get the This is Hippolytus on the 12. Bartholomew again preached to the Indians, to whom he also gave the gospel according to Matthew, and was crucified with his head downward and was buried in Alanum, a town of the great Armenia. And then this is McDowell. One difficulty in establishing the reliability of the Bartholomew tradition is how late it appears in Armenian historiography. So, yeah, I don't know. I picked the good story, right?
Oh, interesting. Says they took both. The Armenian church. They claim Thad and Bart.
Oh, there you go. We had a little Armenian themed episode.
Which is interesting because I wonder if there's like some beef between India and Armenia about whether Bartholomew was in their territory or
I think
the other.
The Indian church effectively died off where the Armenian Church did not.
Well, that's not true.
Well, the Armenian Church definitely thrived because Armenia was the first Christian nation in 301.
It's got more cultural impact, but the Indian Church, it's still alive. It's still around.
Because of William Carey.
Yeah. Well, no, what's interesting is I think when the 19th century missionaries or whatever got there, they found Christians who had been there for forever.
Right.
Well,
I don't mean to say it died. It just didn't thrive in the way the Armenian Church did.
The Indian Church, there's a Syrian Orthodox Church that has been in India since the 1st century.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean dude, it's like they claim that they launched or their origin was 52 AD under St. Thomas, and they're still kicking. So yeah, I mean definitely, I'm sure they've struggled under the influence of Hinduism and Islam, but yeah, man, they're alive. Shout out to the Malankara Orthodox out there. All of our Malankara listeners.
All of them. Well, that's what I got. We got Big Paul next week, and then we done.
Big Paul, Polly boy.
Polly Oxenfree.
I really want to hear your Long Island accent, like, obnoxiously when we're talking about Polly.
Like Paul. Yeah, he would have had a long...
Absolutely, he would have. Yeah.
Bing bang. Peter, what are you doing?
All right. Dang. So we're gonna tidy up the 12 apostles, and then what are we going into our next series after that? Are we gonna have a couple weeks of buffer stuff?
We'll do some smatherings.
Yeah. Well,
your mention of the Apocrypha made me think it might be cool. I might do an episode or two on some of the apocryphal writings. That might be kind of fun.
I wouldn't mind if you taught all of us, listeners included, kind of a little bit about just a general overview of them and what we do with them. I don't know. There's so many, because there's themes that take place in all of them, like tropes that take place in all of them, but some of them are very clearly more legendary. This one that we just read, it sounds historical to an evangelical, right? Like this, that sounds like something that happened. Yeah. Whereas, the adventures of, was it Andrew and Bartholomew, when they're going around the land of dragons, of she-dragons, and
right,
teaching goats how to talk good. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be cool doing an apocryphal episode. Plus, I think some of our listeners have been asking about that, so that could be a little in between before we kick off the new series. Yeah,
it'll also probably upset some of our listeners.
Why you gotta?
We always say that. We've never. Well, actually, no. We've upset our listeners one time. And it was our episode like 2 years ago on the Anabaptists.
There was also that one guy that thought that you were...
The Anabaptists are like the only people who have ever been like, no, we're peaceful. How dare you say we're not peaceful?
Look.
Okay, that is a misrepresentation, Thomas. That's not true. They did not.
Oh, that's true. Our listeners couldn't see me smiling while I was doing it. I was joking.
So
I was joking.
There was also
they were the most aggressive in our comments.
Yeah. They didn't. They were actually very... They were very typical.
It was more like,
Mennonite
please do some actual research on anything other than the first Anabaptists. Which, fair enough.
It was very reasonable. I'm not saying they were right, but they were.
What about the guy, John, that thought you were taking the Lord's name in vain?
That one bothered me so much because I think
he heard you say like
gosh
dang. You said gosh
like
dang.
That.
Yeah, which is like as spicy as your mouth ever gets.
Yeah. So I was really bummed about that. I think I tried listening to that whole episode because I was like, did I use the Lord's name in vain? Like, I don't use that.
I know.
Off the mic. So
I know.
Like, that's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, one of the few Spotify comments I deleted. The Nord's
Yeah.
Shout
out. Dang it.
Yeah,
I just want the listeners to know that John Simon has already changed his Riverside nickname to Mr. Borkovich, and his subtitle is President of Blasters Seminary.
Mr. Borkovich, tear down this wall.
It's just a dog in a suit.
Mr. Barkovich.
She's like, I literally don't speak English.
Dude,
Just
okay.
a dog wearing a necktie. Oh my
If we
God,
have-
that's so
So
If we look, I'm gonna go ahead and say, if we get we need to have some shirts designs eventually. That's got to be up there as a contender.
Mr. Borkovich is one of
good.
them.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. Yeah.
All right, we're out of time.
So make sure, vote for stuff. Make sure you participate in our giveaway. And let us know what shirt designs we should make that may or may not ever come to fruition. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye bye.
God bless you.